What recommendations do you have for being able to quality control the staff and make sure you're getting the right people on board? They're potentially at that stage where they're going to be moving across to a bit more of an agency setup. So they're hiring people, either contractors or full-time or part-time staff.
So, look, hiring is difficult. I don't know anyone that gets it bang on. My hit rate's probably 50-50. I fire every other person
Yeah.
I hire. So it's really difficult. And again, I have simplified operations, and this is what I teach in the Forge, not to be boring, on two fronts. So internally, there's a thing called speed reports, and also I have a operations dashboard, which is separate, which actually combines, beg your pardon, the Google Ads now. It didn't before. It used to be two separate things. It's a spreadsheet. It's nothing, dashboard
Yeah.
makes it sound fancy. The speed report's really straightforward. So when you're hiring, say you're a freelancer or a new agency and you're expanding and you take on a person, it might be someone part-time, full-time, might be a freelancer. The worst thing you can do is not trust them to do the job. If they're going to fuck up, let them
Yeah.
fuck up. And I know that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow because it's your client, your money, but that's just agency life. However, you can monitor that process without being micromanagey. So a speed report is really simple. It's literally traffic lights. Think of it as a Word document or a sheet or whatever. Two boxes, one red, one green, like what's good, what's bad. And then a summary. And that can be a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday to start with, like just regular cadence updates, or it can be once a week or twice a week. So you literally say to your new hire, you've got these 5 accounts to manage. I want a speed report every Monday and every Thursday. And it literally give me
Yeah.
bullets of what's good, what's bad, and a summary, essentially what's bad, how are we going to fix it kind of situation. Just keep me on top. It's really quick for them to do. It's really quick for you to read.
Yeah.
It just keeps the blood flowing through the business, And then the operations dashboard is, you don't need it when you're super small, but that brings in Google Ads KPIs. So again, spend health,
Yeah.
the KPI, conversion KPI, and then other metrics like recent changes. So just a drop down of, have we done negative keywords this week? Have we done new ad copy? Just really top level. I don't need to see the ad copy. I don't need to know what the negatives
Yeah.
are. I just need to know that it's happened, and then a date stamp to say when it happened. Has the client
So
had a report? Like,
yeah.
again, date stamp. Have we communicated with the client? Yes or no? If it's a yes, date stamp. Like really top level stuff. Was the last communication with that client positive, neutral, or negative sentiment? Were they moaning? Were they asking questions? Or were they happy? Literally, it's a line in the spreadsheet, and you can quickly review it to see, have we done these things? Is it on target? Is the client happy? And that's an operations dashboard. And that will keep you sane.
So you're essentially saying, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're hiring someone, you're putting them on, you're giving them a dashboard or a spreadsheet of this is the Ed Leak way of I want you to optimize the accounts. And then they're just going through that
Oh,
process, making sure that everything is done, not only Google Ads sense, but also client relationship sense in the way that you want it to be done.
yeah, so this is where it gets nuanced because it depends on who you're hiring. If you're hiring someone experienced, I wouldn't tell them how to do their job, but you do need to tell them your process. So, frequency of reports, what the client expects, how we talk to clients, what you expect, top level stuff. If you're taking on someone who's more junior, then that's a much harder job because you have got to train them and you've
Yeah.
got to make time to train them. You can't just give them God tier ads framework as a pitch. Sorry, Aaron. I know you've got your own thing,
No, no, no.
but you can't
I'll
give them.
put some information down below. We agreed
Uh,
on a 90% commission for me, didn't we? Anyway, I think that was what we said.
Christ, uh, I'll be eating baked beans. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can't just give them your training or my training. It'll speed the process up. But if they're green, they're new
Yeah.
to this, then it's probably the worst hire. If you're just starting out, is to hire someone who's new, just
Yeah,
because they're
great
cheap.
point.
Because you've got
Yeah.
to spend so much, an inordinate amount of time with them to get them up to speed. So that's a very different kettle of fish, and they would struggle with just having to do a speed report because they then haven't got all the back end to say, well, this is how you fix the problem, because they haven't got the experience to do
Yeah.
it. So you've essentially dragged me down a different route here. But I would say, in hindsight, because I hired juniors to start with because I thought, they're inexpensive. It was the wrong move. I
Yeah.
should have saved my money and hired someone experienced, because at that point I could have split the agency. I could have had the sales and marketing, me, and then I could have had the
Yep.
operations, the senior hire. So the Google Ads stuff and all the work is their responsibility. generating leads and sales is my responsibility. And then all of a sudden, you've
Yeah.
set a foundation for a decent agency. Because if I get my job right and they get their job right, we'll be hiring soon. And then that team on the
Yes.
ops side will expand. You can't do that with a
Yeah, and
junior.
it's always too that some of the cheapest hourly rate or cheapest salary, it can become a lot more expensive if they're not the right person
Yes.
for what you need.
And we should
Yeah.
say, well, hold on a minute. How do people get a foot in the door? It's not what I'm saying. There are plenty of businesses out there that have got small teams to large teams that can accommodate a junior. If you're on your own,
Yeah.
again, context here. If you're on your own, your first hire should not be a junior unless you're prepared to really, really hold their hand and train them up. So it's not about never working with juniors. As soon as you've got a senior and you get more accounts on,
Yeah.
then you could hire a junior to go under the senior, and their job, if they're happy with it, is to obviously hold the hand and drag them through the accounts.